Yes, sir. We got the first day of NBA done, and man, what a heck of a day. I feel like it was a good day for NBA. Came down to the buzzer. Both games, Utah and New Orleans almost went into overtime, which was one of my picks, stacks for yesterday. Thinking, hey, they do have an opportunity to go into overtime, but you know what happened? You know what happened? That motherfucking Rudy Gerber scored the last point. Utah win. No OT. Now, I did make it in the green, as you can see. I'm bringing you back to the recap of what just transpired yesterday before we get into the new slate, which we have 6 NBA games to go over. And let's take a look at what I did. Now, on this Fanduel slate, what I did, it was just 2 games. I didn't go in too heavy. It's rarely that you come out without it being a tie up there in first place with just only 4 games on the slate. I'm sorry, 2 games on the slate. So let's see, what did I do? As you can see up here, I only put in $4. I wasn't looking to really do too much. I wanted to test the waters first. Plus, like I said, on the 2-game slate, it's very rare that you coming out the big top winner without sharing the pocket. And that's what happened. They shared it up top, which cuts down the much you could gain. I just really wanted to double up. Give me a little double up for the big slate so I could throw some more money into getting some of that big money. And here I have $4 and I doubled it up to 18. So let's look at my slate. Looks like I was pretty on ball with things. I entered 4 quarter slates, a $2 single entry slate, and a $1 single entry slate, which is the only one I didn't reach the green in. And I don't know what I was doing on that one. My finger must have slipped and hit the wrong button. Because as you can see, I was in there. I was in the green on everything. And what you can see is, now this, you know how they do the little point checks. They try to take off 1-2 points. I'm still in the green. And what you can see is, basically up and down, I had an average about 280. 280 got you there. My highest total was 300. And the one that I made the most money in was the $2 one, and I had the 292. So I was up there. And basically what it was is, if you go back and you were listening to me, you tuned in, I told you, you need to have Rudy Gerber in that center spot. Stop playing. Stop trying to be like all these big experts on here. Well, man, I'm not going to go there because he's guaranteed to get you 40, 50, and there's got to be somebody down low who's cheap as shit that's going to get you 35, and I'm going for Zubac, and I'm going for Joe Kim Noah and Favors and shit like that. And I'm like, bruh, why wouldn't you just put in a guy that you about to get 40 from, 30, in a great position, going to play all the minutes he can, and he owed down for fucking up in the beginning, messing with that COVID shit. He owed down. So he came around. He came out, focused. He knew he couldn't be out there fucking up no more. Everybody on his ass. So he came through, old Gerber. So, you know, I just wanted to go ahead and take a recap in that. And you can see that in my 292, you know, there was things that was for my entries. Let's see. Dang, my 292 didn't even have Gerber, but it had a nice, decent lineup. And, you know, Caruso started finally playing decent. Reggie was hot early, but lost control, then cooled off towards the end. And that was a heck of a game. That Lakers game, that was a heck of a game. That was a good game right there, where in all of that, where are my other entries at? Oh, you know what? I had to go back because I went into the wrong one. Okay, and then this one that I got the 300 on. Let's take a look at this. That was favors on that one. I was just balling. And whatever, basically my core group of people just went off, which is going to get you there. And as you can see, as we look into the live, and that I was in the green all the way down until my last one, which didn't hurt me too bad. And I 300, 292, 284, 281, 278. So basically, the people, my main core group of people definitely hit. And then the one or two roundabouts that I put in, some hit, some didn't, as you can see. So for the first day of NBA, I didn't put too much on the line. I wanted just to put a little sprinkle in there, sprinkling a little bit, so we could try to see, what's going on. Get the reaction of getting back into this DFS swing, and man, I enjoyed it. It was a great night. Both games came down to the wire. That Lakers game was good, so everybody was out there balling. Ain't nobody come hard, half-hearted or nothing. Everybody poured it out there on the court. I appreciate it all. And seeing that I doubled up on my little 4 to 8 10, I'm ready for tomorrow. So come on, let's get into this new slate. So on this new slate tomorrow, what we have, I think we have a six games. I think we have 6 games, which is pretty decent. That's a fairly decent little spot for the 6 games. And what we have is Orlando and Brooklyn, Orlando versus Brooklyn, Phoenix versus Washington, Memphis versus Portland, Boston versus Milwaukee, Sacramento versus San Antonio, and Houston versus Dallas. Let's get into it. Okay, and what I like to do first is I like to come over here and see the matchup, the lineup with the Vegas odds to see who's supposedly it's supposed to be a high scoring game and who's a low scoring game. And let me tell you this, just because it's a high scoring game doesn't mean you're supposed to pick everybody from that game. Low scoring games, and you got a team that where the production comes from certain people in the team, then that just means go ahead and get them because they're going to be the ones scoring all the points. So, because just because a team's supposed to score a whole lot of points, it could be evened out, or one or two people might see it. So we have Orlando and Brooklyn at 211. And as I'm recording this, as you know, these go up and down and they fluctuate. And also, put in the comments, did you like the restart of the NBA? Were you feeling the games? Did you like the Utah, New Orleans, and the Lakers versus Clippers? Tell me how you felt with the no audience. How did you really feel about this return of the NBA? I enjoyed it. I was tuned in, locked in, glued to the TV, yelling, hollering, all that. So let me know. How did you like it? Did you enjoy it? Did you miss the audience? What's the next move? So here we have the Grizzlies versus Timberlake, the Trailblazers at 224. We got the Phoenix Suns versus the Washington at 224.5. We have the Boston Celtics versus the Milwaukee Bucks at 218.5. Then we got the Sacramento Kings versus the San Antonio Spurs at 219.5. And the Hammer Rockets. The Rockets shooting out. And we have the Houston Rockets here versus the Dallas Mavericks at a huge total of 229.5. And as you've seen, and if you know anything about this NBA, that's going to be the game. That's going to be the game. That's going to be one of the highest total scoring game. And I will have some of that game. I will have some of that game in my upcoming DFS slate. So let's get on into it. Alrighty. And as we jump in here into this slate, as you can see, we got some big boys up here at top. You got some real big boys up here. And let me go ahead and move myself so that we can see this a lot better. I just wanted y'all to see that, hey, he doubled up. He not out here just playing, and he just putting out picks and not putting no money on the line. I'm putting money on the line. As you can see, I'm in the green. I didn't say I was putting $1,050,000 out on a 2-game slate. This didn't make sense to me. But these bigger slates is definitely, you want to put some money on it, you can definitely win a lot of money on these. We'll see how it comes back. Especially, I'm not gonna say dive all the way in. I'm talking about sprinkling him a little bit tonight too, because you got to see how these people gonna react. Because one of the things is we got a team of Brooklyn cast where a lot of people opt out. So there might be some people on the team we don't know that's gonna go off. Trash bag, 3,500 guy. So we got to take a look in the slate and see what's going on. Washington missing a lot of folks. So it's not gonna be like this regular same old DFS where you just jump in and you know exactly what's hot and who's hot and what's popping. People come in, they cold, they gotta warm up. So let's get up in this. As you can see on the slate, we got a lot of we got a couple people over 10,000. Now let me tell you this. When picking over a person that's cost 10,000, you better make sure he's gonna pay it back. He's gonna pay it off. You better make sure he's gonna pay it off. And we got the big Lucas Doncic, Giannis Tempo, James Harden, Brooks, Porzingis, Lillard, White. So let's get into it. So I'm gonna go game by game, break down a couple people that I'm looking at, and then at the end of that, I'm gonna give you just a core four people. Core four people that I'm gonna go with tomorrow. And then, from that, I might give you a couple value picks. So let's get into this. So we got Orlando against Brooklyn. And this is one of the things that I was talking about, where there will be people who usually play for Brooklyn are out. So we have Karis LeVert, who's going to get a lot of usage. We have Jared Allen, who's going to get a lot of usage. And then we got a cast of other people that we just not too sure about. Who is the point guard for Brooklyn? Will it be Karis LeVert? Then who's the shooting guard for Brooklyn? Is it Garrett Temple? They talking about Tyler Johnson might have a role in this. Let's look at shooting forward. Joe Harris might see a lot of minutes. As you can see, Aaron Gordon, they say he's hurt, but they saying that he should play. And Kirkus, he's a guy that I have played before in the DFS, and he has paid off his price. It all depends if he gets his minutes. You see down here in New York, 21 minutes, he got you 22 points. If he really don't get his minutes, he's not really liable to get you that big game that you're looking for. And we just don't know who knows how Brooklyn wants to play. Who knows how the setup is going to go. And with Orlando, for the point guard, you got Fultz. You got Carter Williams. You got DJ Augustine. Pick one. Geez. How many point guards you got to have? And then they all out there balling too. So which one? Then on the shooting guard, you got Ross. Then there used to be Fournier on the shooting guard, but they put him in the shooting forward position now. And then you got Aaron Gordon. Then you got Nikolai Vucevic and Jared Allen. With this game, the only one that I would actually target will be Karis LeVert, because he's supposed to get all the usage. Point guard, shooting forward. Whatever you want him to do, he's going to be out there doing it. But it's going against a Orlando team that has tremendous D. They might not let him. They just might not let him pop off, no matter how long he out there on the court, because he's going against a real team. And Vucevic, he's a good pick. Brooklyn soft there in the center. Jared Allen. For his price, he's a decent pick, because, basically they only have one center. So he's going to be putting in minutes. But with the game total so low, I feel like you would really have to pinpoint just a couple of people to pick out of this game. And I'm thinking, I'm not saying that I'm going to fade it, but it's on the back burner. So let's get on to the next game, which is a great fantasy DFS game for NBA, and that's Phoenix against Washington. And we all know we like to pick on Washington, but they're not even playing the same people that used to get picked on. Are they going to even be a contender with these guys that they're coming off the bench with? Bradley Beal's not there. So you just lost a guy who's going to give you 30, 40 points in a real game situation. So it's possible, Phoenix is going to go off on him. But will it be a game long enough to the fourth quarter for Devin Booker to still be out there and Rubio to still be out there dropping threes like crazy? And Deontay Ayton out there jamming down dunks on them? And they got the G League out there. You know what? That's just what has me kind of cautious with this game right here, because it's the Phoenix Suns against the Washington G League, and I'm not too certain that I want to just jump in and pick everybody from Washington. I'm sure people will hit Booker, 8,000, Aiden, great spot, Rubio, great spot. One of the ones that I do like from there, Markel Bridges for only 5,300. He is a person that could really pay off this price point with Cal Oubre out. He can give you that 39, 34. Couple of spots where he dropped down to the 20, but he's getting the minutes crazy. 42, 42, 39, 30. He's getting crazy minutes. For that cheap price with a guy who's going to get 35 plus minutes, I can be with it. But he's one of the sleepers, because you're going to have to pay up if you're going to Booker or Rubio, and they've been hot. Rubio's been hot. We don't know if he's still hot coming from this break, but he's been hot. But what I'm trying to say is, who are they going against? Because they would have Bradley Beal putting up 40, 50. So yeah, they still out there in the fourth quarter gunning. But Napier, Smith, Gary Payton II. Now he's a good sleeper. Now if he gets out there and he gets enough time, he could actually be a good sleeper. He can put those points up. If he gets the minutes, he can put some good points up. And he's very cheap. So watch out for that. If they do call on Gary Payton II, let's see what they say about him. Washington Wizards point guard Gary Payton II has tested positive for COVID-19. Payton is not in Orlando with Washington Wizards after receiving a positive test of coronavirus. Troy Brown should see upgrade in usage playing time if Payton decides to opt out. Wow. Brown. Alrighty, so that came on July 9th though. So he should be over this. Okay. So he might still be coming back to play. That was on July 9th. It's been, I think, 14 days, past 14 days. If he passed their quarantine process, GP might be in there, and he might be a good value. At 3,700, he might get 30 minutes. Cal Oubre's out. That's what I was talking about. Malik Bridges. Troy Brown's supposed to be seeing a lot of minutes. And then, Hachimura is a good one. He should be seeing a lot of minutes. Bertans is not there. And with Phoenix Power Forward, it's funny. It all depends on if Sark don't play. Sark doesn't play. Kaminsky is in play. But Sark, they usually split their time up, and one guy gets hot, one guy's not. But not as a point of where it can blow the slate out the water. And this is a good point right here, DeAndre Ayton. Washington is soft with the big mans. They don't know if they want to go Thomas Bryant, Wagner. They'll put these guys in and just 5, 10 minutes bring them out. No way they could get hot or establish any type of real D. And Ayton could eat down there. So this is one of the games I will be targeting for the slate, to picking out a couple. And a couple of the hot ones that I'm looking at is everybody basically from the Phoenix team. Aiden, Booker, Rubio, and Bridges. Don't forget about Markel Bridges down here. For a cheap price, for all those minutes he playing, if he gets hot, he's going to pay that off. Then we have Memphis versus Portland. In this game, Memphis has a pretty sturdy team. And what I'm seeing is, let me see what this. Why is this all messed up now? Okay, and what we have here is Memphis versus Portland. And what I'm seeing is you got Dame, Hassan Whiteside, good, pretty much decent prices, 8,900, 87. Jonas, 77. CJ, 74. Nurkic. John Morant's been hot. For 6,300, he's been hot. He could put up some. You got Skinny Mello. I'm cool on Skinny Mello. And Josh Jackson's been putting up a decent little amount of points. And then Jaren Jackson. I mean, he's a hell of a basketball player, but he just fouls out too much. He fouls out too much for me. No. Um, it's a good game. He's in a great position. You could beat Portland down low. I'm just not thinking that with this 6 game slate that I'm really too much interested in this Memphis Portland game. It would all go about how my lineup build goes, and if I land on somebody in one of this game and they're valuable at their price, and I feel like they can get that much output, and 3 times or 4 times their value, then maybe. But this game, I'm really not looking. It's two good, decent squads, but it's not going to be really point heavy. I don't think, and I'm not really thinking that they're going to be putting up enough points for me to be really paying off their price for me. Um, so we're gonna move on to the Boston Milwaukee game, and here we just got the word that Eric Bledsoe is out, which does change the slate. Changes the slate. So here we have Giannis and 10-7. He could go out there and give you that 70 ball. He give you that 70, 70, 80. With Bledsoe down, going against Boston, who has tremendous D, but Giannis is one of the exemption factors out there where, hey, your defense really don't matter just because he's doing everything. He outboarding you, he's out shooting you, he's out scoring, he's stealing, he's assisting his team. So Giannis is just one of the exceptions where going against Boston, you can still pick him, even though they have a decent defense, and he's looking pretty good tonight. He might, with Bledsoe out, I feel like he pay off that 10-7. He might blow the slate out. Chris Middleton is all the way in play with Bledsoe out. And then another guy is the DaVincio. My man DaVincio, baby. What's good? DaVincio, let's check on him, man. Has he really been doing what he's supposed to been doing off the bench? Okay. 36, 27, 41. Seemed like he was getting hot there when he was getting those minutes in, which he should be getting some minutes with Bledsoe out. Then we're looking at Boston. Boston has a well-rounded team, which means Kemba is back. That's going to take usage from basically everybody. Everybody. So everybody's going down on this one. Where they were out there balling, Tatum takes a hit. Hayward takes a hit. Brown takes a hit. Smart takes a hit when Kemba is back. So I'm really not looking towards Boston against Milwaukee and their defense because they have a tremendous D, and they're full-handed. They have everybody on hand. Whereas I'm looking at Milwaukee, they're shorthanded a guy who could drop you 30, 40, so their usage has to go somewhere. And usually Giannis goes ahead and picks it up, or my man Chris Middleton. He does. He steps it up. He drops a 40, 24. He steps it up when he has to. He has a 60 ball down here so that you know he can do it. 60 against Washington. We just talking about Phoenix against Washington. So Giannis out of this group, Giannis is definitely on my radar about for tomorrow's slate. So let's get into this Sacramento, San Antonio. And with this game, I really don't know. With the San Antonio lineup so messed up, no LaMarcus Aldridge, no Trey Lyles. Marvin Bagley is out for Sacramento. Alex Lynn is out for Sacramento. Holmes has just gotten back, and we don't know if he's in good enough shape. Because I would be all in on Holmes at this cheap price. I would be all in on Holmes if I knew that he was going to get his minutes, his complete minutes. I would be all in on Holmes. But unfortunately, in this situation with Holmes, they got 3, 4 other guys. They got Belichick. Then they got Harry Giles that they give minutes to, and they just trying to bring Holmes back into it. So I'm really not too certain if I could go all the way in on him. De'Aaron Fox is a good pick. Murray, you're always taking a gamble. We don't know if Popovich gonna let him go in there and pop off, or he's just gonna put him in there a couple minutes, then put Patty Mills in there and let Patty just run the show. Murray could bring you back great 4 times, 5 times X is value if he gets the time, and he should with LaMarcus Aldridge gone, but that means DeRozan might have to defer to him. DeRozan could pop off because they don't have to download superstar. Somebody's gonna have to pick up that slackage and usage, and DeRozan could pop off tomorrow. Buddy, I'm not too certain with because Banjakovic is back, and they like to split their minutes up. So it all depends between them two. It's just like who gets hot beyond the three is actually that's who's gonna get it. That's who's gonna get you the points. If you don't get hot behind the three, Rudy might be in size for a good roll of minutes. Rudy, don't forget about old Rudy. Rudy. You'll see. He might not make the cut, but he's on there. He's on the list to check out. And then my guy that I'm looking for to play, if I'm looking for somebody to pay off their price at a very cheap price, we have this Jakob Potter. And we can see that he's going to be the main center. And if you give him his minutes, he can bring you back some points and some values. So that's why I'm scrolling down here 35 minutes, 40. 22 minutes, 24 points. 18 minutes, 34. So he's up and down, hot or cold. But if you get him the minutes, he can bring back 4 times, 5 times X. And that's what you're looking for to win these games. To win these GPPs, that's what you're looking for. And he definitely, so he's on the list for the Mall slate of people that I'm looking at to 4 to 5 time X, especially against Sacramento. No Marvin Bagley, bums down there, lame Jared Giles. Portal can handle that. Portal can handle that. So let's get to the hammer. The hammer, Houston versus Dallas, and we all know they got the dogs in this one. This is where the real pits at. So we got Luka, we got James, we got Westbrook, we got Porzingis. Then we got a great supporting cast for both teams. Covington, Hardaway. It's the supporting cast that I would look at. And then listen, don't forget, Eric Gordon is out now, which put Daniel House in play. That puts Daniel House in play. For this cheap price, he could go ahead and go up 4,000. That puts him all the way in play because he's starting for Eric Gordon now. So that does put him in play, and this looks like a great game. Luka could go off. You have to choose. You have to choose. You have to choose between James or Russ. can't just be up here thinking you about to jump in the slate. Man, I'm gonna get both of them. And then everybody else in the slots trash because you just spent all your money up. Only one gonna hit. Only one gonna hit. They don't hit together. One's gonna hit. And I'm betting my money on Mr. James Harden himself, the Rocket Man, because he's gonna take off. And you know what's gonna make him take off? Luka's gonna take off. You know James don't like to be outshowed. He don't like to be outshowed. He don't like to be one up. He got that slow motion crossover there, that one little slow motion hop step. I don't understand how they don't check it. I don't understand how he getting all that stuff out. That boy just go slow motion with you. Oh, he get right back. Boom. He in there. And Luka out there. He's an upcoming star, and he's putting up tremendous points. And these are the two that I think that could pay off this $10,000 value. No, 10,000 not a value. This $10,000 high price and bring you back what you need. Porzingis is a good. He's good for DFS. He could bring you that 40, 50, and it's only coming at 93. So he's a good one, and I'm looking at him. But these two, this is probably how I'm gonna start the slate off. This is probably how I want my one. I just want my 120 right there. That's 60-60. That's what I'm expecting back. 60-60. Anything better, I'll take it. I'll take it. But starting the slate off like that, you in deep waters though, because you already spent up 20,000 out of everything. So you're gonna have to know how to maneuver on the slate if you want to pick these two guys and put them together. So let's get on into it and let's create a good slate for you guys to start off with. I'm not gonna start off with these two high value guys. A lot of ways you can look at all these slates is stars and scrubs, balance, or stacking are the three main ways, and then you got the off the wall slate where you just got miscellaneous this person, that person, and they win. So what I'm gonna show you is today is probably a balanced lineup, because if you could put a balanced lineup in that where everybody brings in 35 to 40 points, that adds up. Where you're gonna have a star that like Luka and James Harden that can put up that 60. But if everybody else behind them don't put up what they need, you can catch up and surpass them. And then you can be up there at the top. Because I'm gonna tell you now, probably over 50% of the lineups tomorrow are gonna have Luka Doncic and James Harden in it. So you starting out. So if you could get above the field instantly by sometimes fading those guys, but then sometimes it can hurt you. So I want to say the way I play my lineups is that I diversify. Like I say, I'm gonna have me a slate where I'm paying for stars and I'm paying up for people, and then that's the thing with the stars. You must identify the ones that's worth paying for. Because if you pay that 9-8 for Russ and he busts, you're through. If you're paying all that money for Lillard and he busts you through, or Hassan Whiteside, or James, or Luke, or Giannis, it's basically gonna bust you. So let's get in here and let's see if we can just get us a little balanced slate to start off for tomorrow. See what we're gonna do. And I said one of the games that I was looking at was that Washington and Phoenix one. And for 6,500, I'm liking Rubio. But let's see what else we have in this point guard position. Rubio, you put Rubio in, you guaranteeing you about 30 plus points. I'm liking Rubio. We get Rubio for the 65. You know, the shooting guard point. Now, I'm not going to just jump in and give you Luka Doncic Harden. That's easy. That's just easy. What I'm going to give you is a couple mid-range guys, some value that can really bring you back some good points. And you know what? One of these things that I was looking at is that Luka and James, let's say they give you 50. Chris Middleton, Devin Booker, can give you 50 tomorrow. Chris Middleton, without Bledsoe, he does take over and ball. With Boston, he can still get there. But one of the guys I was looking at, like I said, was DaVincio, Megay. He's been busting loose 36, 27, 41. Bledsoe is out. He's doing all this with Bledsoe in. So I'm looking at DaVincio. Damn, bro. Man, it's been a long day, y'all. Bear with me. Bear with me. It's been a long day. So yeah, I'm liking DaVincio in this one. Okay, then we're gonna get you one that's shooting for it. Instant, you already know. People want to put that Giannis in there ASAP. ASAP. But what did I tell you? I was liking Mikal Bridges. I was liking Mikal Bridges against Washington, getting all those minutes. You got Josh Jackson down here who's been putting in very good, decent amount of points. Rudy Gay. And my sleeper. Now I'm gonna give you this one. Thank you. Please like and subscribe. I definitely need the help out. Need the help from you. All I'm asking is you do is just give me a like and a subscribe. And I'm gonna bring you content daily, even through the weekend. I'll be giving you content. And I appreciate everything. And my sleeper of the night, Jonathan Isaac. 3,500. If he's back, and I think he's been playing in some scrimmages. Okay, Orlando Magic forward Jonathan Isaac is considered questionable to play on Friday in teams games against the Brooklyn Nets. Isaac has been dealing with the left knee ailment for a few months, and it seems he's still a ways away from being fully healthy. There's also apparently a conditioning issue as he's not fully in the game shape after the long layoff. Keep a close eye on his status over the next couple days. And let's get into this. Coach Steve Clifford said he believes Isaac is going to play Friday against the Nets, but he continues to evaluate him day to day. Y'all sleeping. Isaac is a true baller. He's gonna give you the points. He fills it up. The steals, the blocks, the assists, and score. He's a starter in this Orlando Magic, and he's one of the ones that they facilitate the ball through. Yeah, they might bring him back and not have him out there 30 minutes, but at 3,500, if this man gets 15, 20 minutes, he's gonna crush that. He's gonna crush that. So this is my main big value today. Oh, Jonathan Isaac from Orlando. If he plays, he can crush that 3,500. And here, you put him in, you can pay up to get some of those superstars you want. And not blow your whole lineup on the 3,500 guy. And like I said, you got to pay attention. See if he plays and what minutes. Because if they're talking about 5-10, I'm cool on that. But this isn't like Zion Williams, who's 7,300, only get 15, 20 minutes and doesn't do nothing but give you 15 points. This 3,500 guy can give you that 15, 20 minutes. He can give you that 30 and blow the slate out. And not actually blow, but really launch you into the green with the big money. So that's my sleeper for the day. And I told you I was going to give you a sleeper. And if he does play, watch out. Have him in your lineup. Have him in one. Don't have him in all. Have him in one. Let's jump on down here to the Power Force and let's see what we can do for you. And today, Power Force is one of the hardest. One of the hardest for me because it's just not jumping out to me who's really gonna give you that 5 times, 6 times X, 4 times X. I'm liking Porzingis. I'm liking Porzingis. He's a guy who I'm looking at the power forward. There's nobody else who really could give you that 50 like Porzingis can in his power forward position. Because Tatum, they got Walker back. Aaron Gordon is hobble, he's hurt, then Isaac might come back because it's gonna cut in his usage. Hachimura might can do a decent, but one other guy that I was looking at, like I was saying earlier, Kirkus. Might do something because Brooklyn doesn't have any other power forwards. He might have to see 30, 40 minutes. He could bring back 3, 4, 5 times X that value. Kirkus can. But like I said, the one only guy that's really jumping out at me that could give you that 40, 50 Porzingis. And I'm gonna jump down here to center, and I'm gonna give y'all my last pick, and this is one of the value picks that I'm gonna give you. And we have some good center positions today where very bring you back 40, 50, 60 plus. But there's only one that I'm looking at. And he won't be on all my slates, but he's gonna be in a couple of my main ones. And that's Jakob Portal. That's Jakob Portal. Now when you take a look up here, we got basically 78,000 per player to spend left on for each position. So that's giving you enough to either go balance or you can start paying up for people. And for the 78, let's see who's all in that range. Anybody from 8,500 on down, the Vert, DeRozan, Booker, Aiden, Fox, CJ, Middleton, Jared Allen, Rubio is 65, and I'm leaving you 78,000 as a basis of filling in or anything else that you want to do. But these are in these positions. I've already broke it down and why I'm looking at them and what the role that they're playing in this slate for me. And I wish you the best of luck and thank you for tuning on in to ESPNF. Please like and subscribe so I can continue to bring you this content daily. And thank you very much. And this is your main man Echelon. Yes, sir. The NBA is back, and I had a great night. And I hope you have one too. Let's get at it. Yes, sir. Welcome on back. Gonna take a real good quick look at this DFS on Draftkings. I'm just gonna give you a quick couple value picks because as I went over with the Fanduel slate, we can see that we got Giannis, James Harden, Luca, Westbrook, 10,000, James 11,000. That's a pretty nice penny to have to pay off right there. And you're going to be looking to pay up for some of these studs. In the past they've put up 60 points, 70 points, and I'm going to go ahead and give you a couple of my value picks on DraftKings today, and because I got to really dive into this slate on DraftKings, and I got to get some more news before I can give you any type of core four players or anything, so I can give you my value picks. We have Tyler Johnson from Brooklyn. He's liable to step in. He's facing the share time with Napier. But if Tyler Johnson gets hot, he's played with Miami behind Gordon Dragic before and has put in pretty decent points playing up a back row. If he gets the amount of minutes that he needs, he could definitely pay off this price. Then we're looking at Kent Bazemore. He's been in the 20s or so lately with Bagley out. He might still start keeping some minutes and uptick in usage. And it's possible that he can pay off that price 4-time max, 5-time max. And that's definitely what you need over here in DraftKings, a 6-time max. And the next value that I'm looking at is Bridges from Phoenix against Washington. He's up there with the 56, and he's going to have to bring, I would need that 30 something plus. Wanting 40, but it's possible with all the minutes that he's been playing. Then we already know Jakob Portal. San Antonio don't have a center, no power forward, no nothing. So he's going to have to do something, which means he's going to be out there on the court basically for the whole damn game. So just grab some rebounds and he can pay off this damn price. And then we got George Hill with Bledsoe out. Don't forget about who might be backing him up. Now, I'm not looking for no 40, 50 points from George Hill. I'm looking for that 35 top side, hopefully. And then if it's possible he does put in a 40, that'd be great. And I'm looking for him to pay off this $3,800 price 3 times, 4 times exit, which allow me to go up and pay for Giannis or Harden or Luca. So you're gonna have to decide, which star do you want to pay up with for. If you're going stars and scrubs, these are some of the value plays that you can use in the picks that I've given you. Thank you for tuning on into the ESPN Net. I'm sorry that it was a short slate for the DFS picks for the Draftkings side, but just need a lot more time to dive in and to see who's available on these Brooklyn and Washington teams and see who might step up. But I can give you some good value picks, and if you go, I would say mid range on the DK, you could definitely also come out very nice. You come out, if you just go in balance and everybody brings you in back a 35, 40, and plus bomb for a very minimum price of let's say 7,000, 8. You come out real good. But these are my value picks. Thank you for tuning in. Like and subscribe, as I was saying. Yes, sir. The NBA is back. DFS is back. This your main man, Echelon. Please like and subscribe.